get up. That's right. Get up, get active, get moving. Listen, if this is your first time tuning in to my show, I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Listen, I got a lot of great things that I want to go over with you. But before we get into that, real quick, you know how to make sure you know how to follow me, how to, subscribe to the channel. It's at for the Twitter people, it's at Little Peoples 2. For my LinkedIn folks, it's Kevin White, and Facebook is Kevin White. For my podcast, it's simply Time is Life. Time is Life. Also for YouTube and IG, it's Kevin White's Time is Life, right? So nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into it, right? So I got a very special guest, right? And this guest is intriguing to me because he went out and he created something on his own, right? And you already know when it comes to my show, it's all about education, motivation, but most importantly, inspiration, right? And just to put it out there, giving you a platform, you, my listeners, as well as anybody else out there, an opportunity to express to them what's important to them and what inspires them. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring my guest on. My guest's name today is Mr. Justin Austin, excuse me, Justin Austin. Justin, what's going on, my man?
Oh, life is good. Life is good. I appreciate you having me here, boss, for sure.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? I appreciate you being here. I know that you're a very busy man, right? So I'll cut right to the chase. For everybody that's listening right now, we're live with Mr. Justin Austin of the Peace Watchers right now. Well, immediately when you think of the Peace Watchers, just like, man, what is that about? What is that about, right? So before we dig deep into it, Justin, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? You know what I mean? Where you from? You know what I mean? All those things, long walks on the beach, whatever. Tell us about you.
Man, I identify as two major things, I guess, to keep it, kind of quick, as I'm a dad for one, a single dad for 23 years now.
Wow.
I started early, but ended up raising my daughter and my son, on my own, but my family was big supporters. But that's my first, mission I set on at an early age, was being a true good father. And my first one was a female too, a single dad raising a female. That grew me to, in ways that I couldn't have designed for myself, for sure. Secondly, I spent I'm going on my 14th year in the healthcare industry. I'm a respiratory care practitioner. I spent a lot of my life in saving lives. You know what I mean? So in a nutshell, those two quick things are something about me that people wouldn't know looking at me, for sure.
That's right. That's right. Hey, look, man, thank you, by the way, for your service, man. I know that you're out there in the, in the trenches. Especially with all the craziness that's going on with the world right now. I know that you're out there in the trenches. So I appreciate you, brother. If nobody else is saying it, I'll say it for them, right? I appreciate you and the service, you know what I'm saying, that you're bringing to the table. You know what I mean? And just to digress for a second, I'm gonna take it back and tell you. So my first child was a daughter too. She's a baby girl. Now she's actually 24 now. She went to school out there where you are right now in San Diego. She went to she got her first degree from FIDM, Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. That's where she went, and then she got her second degree from FIDM, Los Angeles. So she's big into fashion and all those different things there. But I have to tell you, yeah, for real, right? Yeah, thank you. But I'm gonna tell you for real, what you said to me was so real a moment ago. You said your baby girl, raising her. Now I didn't raise my daughter by myself, but raising her grew you so much. Like I, you know what I mean? I'm a man, right? And even raising a man is difficult. You know what I'm saying? Even though you grew up and you know what it takes, raising a daughter though, oh man, that is a challenge. You hear me? That's a challenge. You know what I'm saying?
There's something about that, and for men who have done it, it's almost something it's hard to speak on. The things that you see in life, for me, for what it was too, was thinking of how my daughter had to go through life, right? Mm-hmm. And what kind of things she would see with the way I knew men, right? Yeah. Because I've been around men, the way I knew men, having to think about how she had to move through life, because it made me see the world different raising a daughter, man. I took to it and let me soak up those lessons into what you think about women, how you treat women, how you
Yeah.
think about their safety. Like
Yeah.
those kind of things come to and I had my daughter when I was 16, right? So as
Oh,
I was becoming a man, I was learning these things. So like what was so hard before turned out to be such a blessing now that I'm about to be 40 soon and she's going on 23. Like it's
yeah.
crazy how that happened in my
Huge
life. It turned
dynamic.
into a blessing for sure.
Yeah, man, a huge dynamic. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Perspective is something else, ain't it?
Oof.
Perspective is a mug, man. I mean, when you really because listening to what you're saying, I went through the same thing. And I know that there's fathers out there that have gone through the same exact thing. Again, whether they had the help of the mother or whether they were just like you and they raised her all by themselves, right? With the help of family, obviously, because it takes a village. You know what I'm saying? It takes a village, it takes a tribe. So with that being said, again, hats off to you. I'll tell you, it does change things in the way that you look at the world. Let me just say it like that. It does change things, right? So let's get into this thing, right? The Peace Watchers. The Peace Watchers. So what exactly is the Peace Watchers?
The Peace Watchers is a community safety app.
Okay.
If anyone is stopped, detained, or a young, like our daughters, a young woman in college having to walk across campus late, it's an app where you can open it, drop your location. Anyone in the remote area of you who also has the app will get an emergency ping, and they can have the choice to, with your location involved, have choice to show up for you and peacefully keep watch so you get home safe. Pure safety and community based.
Wow. That's what's up. That's what's up. So like, all right. So there's a lot of stuff that's running through my mind right now, right? So just to make sure that I understand, it's an app that I could download to my phone. You know what I mean? If I'm pulled over, if I feel like I'm just in trouble, period. I don't feel safe. I
Yes,
can hit a button, and that will let people know that there's something going on, and they can either come to my aid or at least know where I'm at to understand that something's cracking off.
that's it. That's it.
Wow, wow,
Just using your community as a sort of safety. There's strength in numbers is our slogan, right? So it's
right
one
on.
of those things that you don't think about until something happens. And George Floyd happening earlier this year, 2020,
Yeah.
took that energy and sparked at an all-time high for me in my life. And that's sort of how this came about.
Well, that was actually a perfect segue because that was my next question. I was going to say, what inspired you to create an app like this, right? Like and obviously, we're not going to sugarcoat it in the way the world is right now, and all the different things that are the dynamics that are happening in the world right now. It's easy to say, okay, this is that and that is this, but
Right.
obviously with the whole George Floyd thing, and it's been happening. Let's make no mistake, but is that what inspired you to do this, along with what you said earlier, as far as your daughter is concerned, right? And wanting to make sure that she's safe and things of that nature. What was it that really inspired you to do this?
You know, it really was the joy. So when George Floyd murder happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
For all of us, for the whole world, as you can see, all
Yeah.
colors, right?
Yeah.
It created a sense of a burning emotion for me and mine over here, right now. Like I was telling you earlier, I am, single father, healthcare for 14 years, but a police officer pulling me over wouldn't see that. They would see is I'm 6'6", about 300 pounds, dread super long. Like I'm one of those people, man.
Yeah.
George
You're
Floyd
a big
was
dude.
6'5", big brother. You mean like throughout life we've had those kind of fears that I call it police anxiety. It's not I'm not doing anything wrong, but that feeling is real.
Yeah.
So George Floyd happened. It took that feeling up to a level that I couldn't necessarily control. I wanted to, just like everyone, I wanted to break something. I wanted to burn something down. But as a leader to who I am around, I really made it a personal responsibility to bring that energy into something that mattered, something that could change something that I could help. Out of fear, I made it. So how I started is I made a little small text thread with me, my dad, my brothers, my close loved ones, a lot of my guys who I played ball with back in the day who were like me, 6'7", big brothers, right?
Yeah.
We got on the text thread, and so I said, hey, if I was stopped or pulled over, could I text this number on this thread? Would y'all show up for me? And all of them, yes, and I would show up for them. And we just pull up and keep watch, right? And then one day, I had that get in the works, bringing them the numbers in. And one day, my lady says, you should make that an app so everyone could have that. And boom, from that day on, we put the work into just creating, man. Just that energy needed to be available for everybody. And that's where it was born, for sure.
That's what's up. And listen, if you're just now tuning in, we're live with Justin Austin, founder and CEO of the Peace Watchers. And he's basically breaking down his story on how it inspired him to create this app that's designed to help people, not just help like help them in general, but to save them, to make sure that someone's got their back, especially in a world where you just don't know who has your back. You know what I mean? So, I wanted to make sure that you know. So let me ask you this, because I heard what you said, and you know what I mean? And I've already been to your site. I've done my research, right? I've noticed that, number one, that you know what I mean? One day, right? It just happens to be one day, you know what I mean? Your lady is like, you know what? You should make this into an app. My wife will quickly say, behind every great man is a great woman. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't say something right now, I might get something thrown at me. So I'm gonna put that out there first. But I'm gonna tell you, man, that it's big. And most importantly, the message came when it was supposed to come. Right. You know what I'm saying? And this goes all the way back to what I say when I say, who's in your village, who's in your tribe. Because at any point in time, Justin, you could have, like you said, you were angry. You wanted to throw bricks. You wanted to burn stuff. But being a leader and people looking up to you in the community that you're in and things of that nature, the people around you could have easily sent you in the wrong direction. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Could have easily sent you in the wrong direction. So based on who you're talking to and who you're conversating with, and most importantly, who's in your tribe, as I would call it. Now, I'm gonna break it down to you. The village is everybody. You know what I mean? And I consider you in my village now. You know what I'm saying? My wife, my brothers, everybody that's around me, a lot of my really close friends, those people are in my village, but they're also in my tribe. Because when I need someone to make sure that they hold me down mentally, that's what needs to happen. So that message that came from your lady, man, it came at the right time. It came at the right time. Now, just to get back on the Peace Watchers, right now, going to your website, one of the things I also noticed is that you were at an event with, I believe it was the La Mesa Police Department. It was kind of like a little thing that you guys had partnered up to, or they have allowed you to come out and also play a part in the community and what they were doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So as we began to, put our message out there, and I can't say every, 95% of the reactions are positive, man. Just people like, whoa, I should have thought of this. We need this. You know what I mean? The reactions are great. So the buzz gets around, and I'm reaching out to people who know people, and I've made some small connections to people that, have either come on the team or, wanted to work with the team. And a couple of my brothers had a connection with structural San Diego events, ones that are being put on by the city at parks or whatever else. I was told about this. He brought it to me about there is an event because of all the social tension going on and the rallies going on in every city. And we made a connection that we wanted to put up our marketing, our tent at the police. The event was in the parking lot of the La Mesa Police Department. Right. And man, it's one of those things where you have to take the uncomfortable step for growth. You know what I mean? Like, this is not an anti-police type thing. We're anti the bad police. We're anti-murder. It doesn't need to be murder, obviously, but those things you have to be You have to understand your position. And my position was to create peace, to create safety, to create something that made a difference on the positive side. There was so much negative energy and fire going on. Like, as we all know, we all felt it.
Yeah.
I took it as a personal challenge, really, to use that in a positive way. And that was our first big public event with notoriety, and that was at a police department where we, took a step toward peace, right? Like,
Yeah.
the anger is real in every city, our city too. But we're trying to create something long lasting here for sure.
That's big. That's big, man. Especially considering you partnered up with them. You know what I'm saying? They welcomed you in, and it was a community event. So now not only do the community see you all working directly shoulder to shoulder with these policemen, but they understand what the whole purpose of it is, right? It's about creating a level of communication where we all feel safe. I remember, I'm not sure if it was on your site or if it was something that I listened to or read that you had did, but it was about, like you said, you're not anti anything. You want to make sure that everybody, both the police and the civilians, get home safe.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Right.
If a traffic ticket or a burnt out tail light we pray should not turn into someone dying. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
those kind of things. So safety, right? Not picking a side, not whatever. We do know what evil is. We've seen it. And we all admit that police anxiety is real for a lot of people out here. Mm-hmm. But if we march toward positivity and safety as best we can,
mm-hmm.
We can hold ourselves accountable, just so we can hold other people accountable for sure.
Right on, Justin. That makes a lot of sense, man. And again, everybody, Justin Austin with the Peace Watchers. I have to tell you, man, listening to what you've created with this app is awesome, number one. But I also want to say that, just in way that I look at it, right, I'm wondering, if this is just for that particular type of situation, because I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking right now, especially considering the onset of our conversation and our daughters. This should be something that every family member that's sending their child off to college should have. I mean, I would even venture to say that this is something that maybe the student unions on college campus should have. It should be a requirement that the students download this because of the stuff that's happening on campuses. Like, let's make no mistake. And I'm gonna change gears just for a half a second. But date rape and all of that stuff is real. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff is real. So if I feel like I'm in a situation, or if my daughter feels like she's in a situation, your daughter or America's daughter, whoever she may be, or he may be, if they feel like they're in a situation, they can hit a button, and that button can tell people that I'm in trouble. Is that what I'm hearing from you outside of all the other stuff? Is that what I'm hearing?
That is 1000%, man. If it's that thought of right there as being a protective father, you know what I mean? That's not some subset or some secondary move. That is as important as it all. The protection of our women like that, especially in the college setting. That we all know the percentages. Like, we don't know, but we can hear the percentages. Those things are rampant without real protection, or having to call the police and fight through lawyers, and just getting it to not happen. The community can help with that. Now, we can't say we can be there for everything before it happens, but if you just had something, this app is currently free to download. If you can just have a few strokes of a button on your phone when walking across the Lake campus, or matter of fact, the LGBTQ community, like, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of
bullying,
anger and bullying. There's the Muslim community, the whatever community it could be, but definitely our women at college campuses is a heightened issue that the Peace Watchers is ready to take some weight off of and take those percentages down so we can protect some of our ladies and our daughters from the worst of humanity.
Yeah, man. I tell you, this is big. Again, I immediately when you know what I mean, I heard about your app before we actually connected, and I started digging a little bit deeper and going to the site. I downloaded to my phone and I'm testing, and I'm just like, man, you know, when my daughter went to San Diego, this was the first time she was away from the house. You know, there were times where my wife couldn't even sleep because, you know, living in San Diego, or not just San Diego, but living on the West Coast, especially in Cali, you know, if you don't have a surfboard, you have a skateboard. And my
Hmm.
daughter, she skates. So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? She would be getting out of school, and sometimes it's dark and she's on her skateboard and my wife can't sleep. She's like, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Not until I know she's back to the apartment and she's safe. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And you know, I'm playing it cool. I'm like, oh, she's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Knowing in my heart, I'm worried too. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried
Yes.
too. But if she sees me worried, then she
Right.
takes her level of anxiety way up here. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Yes. You're the
So
pillar at that moment. Like, I'm gonna
right,
hold it in. Yes.
right. So I'm saying that to say, man, this is an awesome app, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for you know what I mean, for kids at school. This is for anybody. I mean, you know what I mean. I keep going back to women because they are vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They could be leaving, walking to their cars, whatever the case may be. But here's
Yes.
the other here's the other question I have for you. So let's say that my daughter is in LA, but I'm out here in Las Vegas. Like when she hits that button, am I going to get notified here in Vegas even though she's there? Is
No.
that
So we are location based. So,
okay?
and it's updatable. Let's say your daughter was with you in Las Vegas. She's
Hmm.
on break for vacation, whatever else. She just has to update her location. Now she's going to be getting pings and can ping people that are in that location. Now she
Nice.
flies, school's back on. She flies back over to Dago, goes to school, whatever else. She
Yeah.
updates the location with one button, and now her location is now updated to where she is currently.
Wow.
So it's city to city, town to town. Just like
Gotcha.
someone in Louisiana drops a help call, someone in Arizona shouldn't get it, right? So it's all
Right.
location based. So people who can and will show up for people.
That's big. Yeah, that's big. So now you know what I mean. And again, I keep going back to the student unions because I'm hoping that someone that's affiliated with the dorm moms or whatever the case may be,
Ooh,
you know
right,
what I'm saying, that they
right.
understand that this is something that they should require all their students to have, both women and men. To be frankly honest with you, this sounds like a super dope app, Justin. I just got to tell you, man, great job. Hats off to you again. Let me ask you this, man, and wrapping everything up. Let me ask you if there was one thing that you wanted or you want people to know about the Peace Watchers, what would it be?
Man, it would really be that to just know that this was born out of a true heartfelt feeling, right? Like a lot of things are come up with a monetary aspect, or things are come up with other, I guess, goals in mind. This was really born out of true emotion and trying to create better and safer for us all. That would be, I guess, the one thing I want people to know, that this is really born out of humanity. I spent my whole life trying to save lives. This is really coming out of who I am and who I built in my whole, I guess, being leading up till now. The
Mhm.
healthcare part, the large black man part, the single dad of a young girl part, the all of it coming, you know what I mean, to fruition in this moment. It's really the true pillars of my life: the fatherhood, the protection of women, the healthcare. Like, it's really who I am. And then George Floyd happened, and how I am seen in the world. Like, it's just really a beautiful move in a bad time. And I just want everyone to reach out. It's free on thepeacewatchers.com. It is free if your daughter, brother, sister, cousin, uncle have it. It just allows you to know if someone needs your help, man. Pass it on. Pass it on. Each one teach one. Their strength in numbers. Thank you all for sure.
That's right. Hey, listen, man, I was just about to ask you. I was going to ask you, you know what I mean? How can, you know what I mean? How can people get it? You know what I mean? How can they get the app? But you're telling me that all I got to do is just go to the app store and I could just download it from there. Or do I go to peacewatchers.com? I know what I did when I downloaded a couple of days ago. What I did is I went to peacewatchers.com and there was the little, you know what I mean, the little joint on the side of the thing where I got to scan it. I scanned it, boom. I end up, yeah, the QR code, and just kind of went from there. So how can I find it? Is that it? Just the peacewatchers.com?
The peacewatchers.com. Everywhere. Right now, this is the version 1.0, our first version of it. We are in works to grow this to another platform, make it bigger. At that time, you know, adding upgradable things, put it on the you know, Galaxy Store, the App Store. But right now, as it's free and the first version of it, we want just to have everyone just have it. I don't want to make it too difficult to get it and add payments just yet or anything like that, or we just want it to be free. So the best way to do that was the peacewatchers.com. Click download. It'll have you, you know, verify with an email. You create a profile with a picture and a couple of your car information if you want that on there. And that's it. And then you can be a peace watcher. You can both show up for people and have people show up for you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So let me ask you before I let you get out of here. How can people get in contact with you? Now, I know I got your social media stuff going across the bottom, and I know that people have been paying attention to it. But if they want to connect with you, maybe they got questions about how they can, you know what I mean, give this to a group that they're affiliated with, a community group, or whatever the case may be. What's the best way to get in touch with you? Number one, and number two, is that the way that they're going to need to contact you if they want to start putting this in their community?
So for quick conversation, the Instagram is always quick and easy. I have a social media person really doing that for us, who's killing it, by the way. But I'm always on the Instagram answering little questions. Questions come in all the time, updates. People want to know how things work. I'm on the Instagram constantly answering questions. If you're something more official, feel free to hit us on the Gmail, the Peace Watchers at Gmail. We answer all emails. If you look on our website, we have our phone number there. We're really a small group, a small team right now. You know, my wife, brother, dad, mom, like, you know what I mean? A couple close friends. So we're small. So we answer everything. Phone number, the Gmail, the Instagram. I got a little small Twitter I'm doing by myself. If you want to check us on Twitter at the Peace Watch. Everything's the Peace Watchers. We answer everything. Call us, text us, message us, DM. We answer it all. So yeah, please reach out. No problem. Reach out.
That's what's up. Right on. All right, man. Well, listen, before I let you go, one last question. I ask all my guests this same question, right? When you hear, obviously the name of the podcast is Time is Life, right? So when you hear time is life, what does that mean to you?
Ooh, that's a strong one. You know, the way my brain takes to it is, it's almost like time equals life, right? Meaning we never get to know or choose how much time we have in life, right? So the time that you are given, the time that you have now, man, live it, man. Live that thing, because you don't know when it's a wrap. You know what I mean? We've all lost people we thought were gone too soon, or have the worst case scenario, have one of your people lose a child or something. Like, time is life. You don't know when it wraps up. So live that bad boy, man. Like, the dreams that you have, the emotions, the things that fire you, man, let it take you and put the work in and go. Like, a lot of people live to wait around for what's gonna happen, and that's okay. Planning for the future is cool too.
Yeah.
But man, while you're doing that, man, live it up, man. If you can, really experience your likes and your loves, man, for sure. That's what it means to me.
Right on, Justin. I appreciate it, man. First of all, I want to say it again. I appreciate you coming on my show. Thank you. I appreciate the time, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't stress it enough. Did you want to give any shout outs to anybody, man? I know you was talking about the different individuals that help you make it happen.
Oh man, we shout out my team real quick. So in the build-up of this whole thing, I had the idea, right? But I needed to raise the money, and I had a small, like, town hall meeting with my friends and my family, small group, just to give them this idea.
Right.
And all my loved ones were like, "Yes, we're behind you. How much do you need?" Like, so let me shout out my dad. My dad, Bernard Austin, retired Marine. My idol, if that's not such a bad word, that's my guy. My mom, retired lead nurse, Heather Austin. She's my everything. Also, my parents are my everything. My brother, Kevin. If I could be like anyone, I could be like my brother. My brother is one of them guys, man. My boy Zeke, Ezekiel Melendez, my close friend, Melvin Roundtree. These are my partners, and my wife, of course, Cynthia Austin. Like, that's the team. That's the Peace Watchers team. Like, they've all made this possible, man. So without them, I wouldn't be here doing the show with you, man. That's for real. That's
what's up. That's what's up. Look, man, again, I appreciate you coming on. You know what I'm saying? I can't stress it enough, and I can't really I can't put it into words. The bottom line is that what you're doing, man, is huge. It's huge. So thank you again for stopping by, my brother.
Man, respect, peace and blessings, boss.
Right on, right on. That's what's up. All right, everybody, listen. As I mentioned before, you know what I mean? The whole show is all about bringing people on, giving them an opportunity to share what fires them up and what inspires them. But most importantly, if I can motivate and educate somebody, then I would, and I do. The individual I just had on, he talked about taking care of us, right? From the stuff that he's doing in his daily life to, just being a pillar in the community, trying to make sure that things are happening, right? To save lives and to be there to help people, make sure that they get home safely, right? So I say that to say this, listen, get up, get active in your community, do something, try to inspire somebody to bring something to the table that's going to be just like Justin just now, that's going to change the community, right? So that's all that I have right now. Listen, you already see it scrolling at the bottom. If you want to follow me, like, comment, share, all of the above. You already know time is life. Time is life. And I can't stress it enough. We just don't know when we're not going to, we're not going to have as much time as we thought we had, right? So I appreciate you stopping in, spending the time with me. Peace.